Welcome back to Barton EMS Education for the EMT. This is the preparatory module study guide. I'm Nick Larmer, your instructor. Now, what is research? Research is taking an idea that we have and takes that theory and we test it, and we repeatedly test it through hypothesis, through literature, through evaluating the evidence that we see, and then usually we can adopt a practice based on the evidence and how it supports it. So research is basically taking all these ideas and seeing if it actually matches what we see in the real world. So why is research important to EMS? Well, it's a focus on improving patient outcomes and through evidence-based techniques. Evidence-based processes, forming a hypothesis, reviewing literature, evaluating the evidence, and adopting a practice if the evidence supports it is the whole process we're trying to get EMS to move towards. And that's why it's important, because if we stay in the past with how we used to treat with patient care with long spine boards, tourniquets, and how tourniquets used to make the arms fall off, which we found in evidence that it doesn't. EMS and research go hand in hand, and it's going to drive the medical profession forward when we start practicing research in the emergency medical service field. So what are the different types of research? Well, research, there are so many different types of research, but realize not all research is created equal. And research relies on a scientific method. Its exact and comprehensive studies are both difficult and time-consuming, so research takes a lot of work. And it does tend to take an objective opinion. We don't want to take subjective, because subjective is how I feel. Okay? So what are some questions that you might use with the different types of research? Well, some questions are, what is the title of the study? What was the research question or hypothesis? What's the EMS data that's needed for this? What are the samples to be collected? And what are the potential benefits to the patient? There are so many, and I would refer back to that original slide in Intro to EMS PowerPoint, which you'll find in Canvas, on the different questions to ask yourself when it comes to research. And what are the different types of research? We have case studies and case reports. We have randomized control trials, randomized double-blind trials. That's where we talk about placebos. And there's systematic reviews. There's so many different types of medical research out these days, as well as just research about driving practices, research about practices in the station, research about ethics. Research is happening so much in the world we live in. So research is very important, so I want you guys to understand that, because you might see a test question in the future about research. So keep that in mind, and stay tuned for PR3, where we're going to talk about some more things preparing for that Module 1 exam.